Welcome to the French Drain Man channel. I'm your host, Robert Sherwood, and I wanted to talk you through the excavation process of putting in a yard drain. It is the one part of the job that takes either the most sweat equity or the most rental equipment, depending on what you choose to do. I think it is well worth the investment to rent some equipment. I really think you have to team up with a neighbor perhaps or a family member because you'll need somebody to ride the ditch witch while somebody's swinging the excavator. You can do this with less plywood than what we use. We've done videos on that showing homeowners how they can get by with less plywood. We happen to have two skids, they call them, two skids of plywood because of the size jobs we do and the fact that we're going to use it every day. But the dig is the most important part. The dig is going to dictate whether this drain lasts forever or whether it's going to hold water and attract tree roots. So that's why you see a gentleman in the trench. Valente's in the trench, and he's making sure the bottom is flat as can be. We don't want no bellies. People always ask me, what are you talking about, a belly? A belly is when a trench or pipe has a dip in it. It holds water. And it's a term in the industry, a plumbing term actually. And I believe it's used mostly with sump lines. When a sump line gets a belly in it, you can't get water past that belly. Usually you're done. You got to dig it up and install a new sump pump discharge line. So in yard drains, it's no different. If you leave a belly, you're going to have this situation where there's a section of your drain holding water. Trees and shrubs will sniff that out during the drought season, and they'll take your system out. If you want to build a system that lasts forever, make sure the bottom is really, really smooth. If you're digging clay, it's really easy. You could actually take the shovel and just, take the flat part of the shovel, and you could really shape that trench. You see our guys working it. We always have somebody in the trench, whether it's Valente, Marcelo, Valentine. There's always somebody in the trench, and they're working that trench, and they're shaping that trench, and they're making sure there's no bellies, and they're making sure there's no high spots that's going to dam water, because what happens when you dam water, or what happens when there's a low spot that holds water? You attract tree roots. So you want to definitely make sure that the bottom of your trench is as flat as possible. This is huge. The dig is everything. If you miss on the dig, you're kind of done. So that's why I took the time to make this video, because everybody's, so fixated on so many different things, when the dig is the most important part of the whole job. If you do the dig right, you're all set. And this is why I don't like NDS and their 6-inch speedy basins, because it creates a damming effect. Every time you put a basin in line, it creates a damming effect. And that's why I do a solid pipe with catch basins, and I keep my perforated pipe without catch basins. So homeowners, keep that in mind. Everybody's always fabric, no fabric. Please, please, please use fabric so that the stone doesn't migrate into the clay and the clay migrate into the stone, and your French drain works slower and slower every year till one year it doesn't work anymore. So don't get caught up in that. If you feel you need inlet basins, you run a separate line. So you dig this trench, you put a perforated pipe for your French drain, you can put a solid pipe in there, and you could have that solid pipe inside your burrito wrap, and the solid pipe can have inline basins throughout. You can put them in all the potholes. What is a pothole? That's a low area of your yard that collects water. That's ideal. That's how you determine where you put in a catch basin. So I hope this is going to be helpful to the homeowners and the DIYers. Go ahead, save this video for when you do the install. Just a good reminder on what's really important. Let's not overlook the dig is everything. If you take your time and you do it right, your French drain yard drain system will last forever, simply put. Now, another thing that I get in the comment sections all the time, people want to know, how do I grow grass over the system? It's really easy. Just take some topsoil and some sand and you mix it together, and we call it sandy loam. And depending on your climate, how much and how thick that needs to be. In the north, we don't see what you guys see for, sun in the south. The brutal sun that you guys see in the south, it might require a little bit more. You also need an irrigation system to have a great deal of success at growing grass on top of one of these systems. I know not everybody has an irrigation system, but people with a water problem always tell me the same thing. I welcome having a yard so dry that I have to irrigate. So, keep that in mind. And we also do a lot of designs where we have open French drains. What is an open French drain? That's where we put stone on top of the fabric instead of dirt and sand, topsoil and sand mix, sandy loam, and grow grass on it. So those are the two covers that I like. I like to either grow grass on it and have inlet basins on a solid pipe and keep the perforated, isolated from all that debris and don't use it as a garbage disposal. I want it to last forever. I want all this sweat equity, and I want my client, the money they invested in me, I want that to serve them for the rest of their lives. And it will if you do it the way we show you guys, because I've been doing them for 35 years like this, and the first one works as good as the last one. Now remember, we got plenty of videos in our playlist showing blind inlets and how we use those. You could also use a blind inlet in all your potholes. So what that means is you just go ahead and you grow grass around a grate that's laying on the geofabric that's non-woven, geotextile fabric that's double punched, so it has all these holes that the grass roots can grow in. What's nice about the blind inlet is you never ever have to trim the grass out around it. Remember, the way we teach you guys to use a blind inlet, it's going to allow water to run into your French drain system. And once the grass has fully rooted through the fabric, then you end up moving all the water through capillary action and gravity. It's dynamite. It works fantastic. So you don't have to do anything with that blind inlet. Watch the grass just engulf it. That's the idea. It'll just disappear, and then the system will work its very best.